Hello everyone, welcome to our program tonight. Coming up, President Akufo-Addo secures 170 million euros for Development Bank. We'll bring you the latest from his visit to Belgium. Also coming up, Housing Minister moves to implement government policy on building with local raw materials. And tonight on the Joy Business Van, the story of entrepreneur Harrison Mati, who is determined to own a chain of restaurants. We'll check out his base 11:15. That's coming up on the Joy Business Van. Don't mind that guy over there. My name is Darryl Kwao. It's Business Live. Details coming up. The Ministry of Finance and the European Investment Bank have signed an agreement for the provision of a 170 million euro facility for the establishment of a new national bank, the Development Bank Ghana, DBG. Now, DBG is an integral feature of the 100 billion cedi Ghana Cares Obatampa project, which is seen to revitalization of the Ghanaian economy following the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, the signing ceremony took place when President Akufo-Addo held a meeting with the President of the European Investment Bank, Dr. Werner Hoyer, as part of his official visit to Belgium. We can take a listen to what the President has been saying from over there.
Dr. Hoyer, members of the Ghanaian delegation, members of the delegation from the EIB and the European Union, very happy to see the ambassador here. I'm a year late in coming to Brussels, as the Deputy Managing Director said. I'm happy that finally I made it. And I made it to underscore what the Director of State Protocol has done. We value very much our relationship with the European Union. It's been a very engaging and very productive relationship for our country, and we want to do everything possible to deepen and strengthen that relationship, especially in a world where many things are not as they were before, and it is necessary for all of us to redefine the steps for the future. But in that redefinition, I think it's reassuring to find that there are some partners, some institutions that have been friendly with Ghana that will continue to be friendly with Ghana in this effort, and the European Union, and particularly the bank. The bank has been in Ghana for nearly, almost 50 years now, and has proved to be a very reliable partner of our country. I'm happy that we have been able today to arrive at this ceremony. The bank is going to play a very important part in the rapid economic development of our country. We want to restructure the Ghanaian economy, transform it. It has been a traditional African economy, largely raw material-based exporting economy, and we're looking to be an economy that places much greater emphasis on value addition and value addition activities. We see this bank as one that is going to play a pivotal role for us in defining that future. So it's particularly heartwarming for us that the bank, the EIB, has chosen to make this important investment in the bank and to signal the determination of the European Union and its institutions to continue to partner with Ghana. And we welcome that very much indeed. There's a part of the statement you made yesterday in Paris, and I've repeated it here, that is very encouraging for me. The bank is open for business. And yes, and it means that there are other matters that we're going to put very soon at your doorstep for you to look at, especially in the area of renewables and financing the green transition of Ghana and climate adaptation projects. We have certain targets that we've set for ourselves in terms of changing the energy mix in our country, and we're going to count on the bank as being one of our key partners in that exercise. So yes, you're open for business, and we'll be walking through the door very, very soon again, apart from what you're doing for us today. But what has been done for us today is something that we value very much, and we want to assure you that the money that you're going to put into the bank, that money is going to be used very, very, very well, very professionally. The design of the bank, which has been on the drawing board for the last 2 years, I believe is something that is met with your approval, and that is why you're making this investment. And to reassure you that apart from the design, the implementation of what we're going to do with the money and with the bank itself will also satisfy the highest standards of scrutiny as well as best practices. So we have to some amount of money into the bank. You have to wish for our success as much as we do ourselves. that it works well. So we are partners, and we continue to be good partners, and I'm very confident that at the end of the day, the results will be one that will be mutually beneficial and satisfactory to both of us. So once again.
Right, and so that's footage from Belgium where the president has secured 170 million euros from the European Investment Bank for the establishment of the Development Bank Ghana. That's information we are getting from his trip to Belgium tonight. Now, the Minister for Works and Housing, Francis Asenso, has formally written to some heads of state institutions and colleague ministers, instructing them to begin the implementation of government's policy on building with local raw materials. This, he believes, will boost job opportunities for many Ghanaians and also drive down the cost of building in the country. The Minister for Works and Housing disclosed this to journalists after touring Nelplast Limited, manufacturers of plastic bricks. Here's a report.
Nelplast Ghana Limited will be among many Ghanaian innovators to benefit from the policy of using local materials for construction. The company generates bricks from recycled plastic waste, a process which makes the materials cheaper as compared with the traditional methods of building. Minister for Works and Housing has assured of government support to help bridge the housing gap.
One of the areas that we want to make it an integral part of our affordable housing program. I've had opportunity to engage the Ministry of Education, and in fact I've formally written to the minister, and as a result he has incorporated the use of local bent bricks into the new government schools that is going to be bent. I've done the same with the Minister of Health, so that they also incorporate local bent bricks into the construction of chip compounds and other hospital clinic facilities. So government is committed to making sure that as much as possible we use our local building materials to make construction costs reduce and make it affordable, so that in the long run Ghanaians can also find homes to be affordable and they can buy and live in.
Founder of Nelplast Limited, Nelson Boateng, after taking the minister and delegation on a tour, requested to be given some of the affordable housing units as government support to his business.
For us, what Nelplast is seeking is the government should help us in giving us houses to build. If the government is able to give us even 1,000 houses to build, it will change the state of the company forever. Now we can build for younger Ghanaians and even put them on credit. Our vision is to see every Ghanaian earning between 500 to 1,000 Ghana to also own a house. Because the real estate that we have, estate companies that we have, they are mentioning Dallas, 200,000 big, we cannot afford. Even me, I cannot afford. So Nelplast want to see every Ghanaian own a house. That's earning between 500 to 1,000 to also own a house.
The project is providing employment to more than 300 artisans.
Now, one of the many calls to action climaxing this year's edition of the Ghana CEO Summit is the need for Digital Economy Act. According to the CEO of Chief Executives Network Ghana and founder of the summit, Ernest de Graaf Tijiri, the the act is imperative in streamlining government's policies focused on digitalization. Here's a wrap of the event put together by my colleague Bismarck Awusa.
The events brought together CEOs, business leaders and captains of industry to deliberate on redefining digital business transformation as an engine of future value for the organizations and society. The 2021 theme, Digital Transformation, Powering Business and Government Research for a Post-Pandemic Economic Resilience, a public-private sector dialogue, made the case for a great reset of Ghana's economy to make it digitally resilient. Founder of the Ghana CEO Summit, Ernest de Graft Ejiri, in an interview with Joy Business, indicated that the Digital Economy Act will help sanitize the country's digital ecosystem.
Our neighbors, Togo, have started strongly, and they have a whole Ministry of Digital Economy. And over the world, in Europe and elsewhere, digitalization and the digital economy, which is the future, has or are being given all the attention that it needed. And as Ghana CEO Summit, the agenda we set is to spearhead and push governments. Anything that will help private sector to thrive is what we push to make it happen.
Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Esla Owusu-Ekufo, says government is currently developing a digital economy policy.
It's in the formative stages. We've engaged consultants who are working on it. Questionnaires have been sent out to people to participate. If you're interested in participating, drop off your ideas with the Chief Director of the Ministry of Communications, and she'll forward it to the consultants. So once we have a draft, we will subject it to extensive stakeholder consultation and then have media engagements on that. We can't just digitize without having a plan or a policy or a strategy. So far we've been doing so. We know what we want to do, but we need to have clear timelines and deliverables.
Director General of the State Interest and Governance Authority, Stephen Asamoah Boateng, during the panel discussion, indicated that his outfit is working to reduce the bureaucracy in public institutions.
Indeed, the perception is there, and to some extent you will find evidence that there is some bureaucracy which it's not acceptable in some respects in the public space or the public sector entities, and that sometimes impact negatively on the private sector businesses that goes around and help us to move the economy. And so, yes.
Economist Professor Eric Osei-Sibe, on his part, urged government to improve its tax collection system in order to ensure compliance.
Government obviously has to be more radical in terms of collecting taxes, but the focus should not only be on raising taxes. If you ask me, it should be more or less be on base broadening the tax base, ensuring that the taxpayers actually comply with the tax system, improving the tax administration and collection system, making it more efficient, and to me, more importantly, closing the loopholes.
Other distinguished guests took turns to churn out solutions for post-pandemic economic recovery. Meanwhile, the Chief Executives Network Ghana says it will ensure that recommendations made at the summit are aligned to government policies. Bismarck Awusa's report for Joy Business.
And you're watching Business Live. Still ahead, the Joy Business van is at Adrigano here in Accra to meet entrepreneur Harrison Mati, who is determined to own a chain of restaurants. We'll check out his base 11:15. Don't go anywhere.
On Money Lab today, we conclude our discussions on the type of collective investment schemes that we have. For today, we will be looking at index funds. These are type of funds that track a specific index, such as the Dow Jones or the Ghana Stock Exchange Composite Index. They follow the components of the index that they track, and their performance is also the same as the index performs. I hope you have enjoyed the series on collective investment schemes, where we discuss funds types such as fixed income funds, money market funds, balance funds, equity funds, specialty funds, and concluded with index funds. Join us for subsequent edition as we discuss various investment tips.
Welcome back, everyone. A lot happening with cryptocurrencies, as you read in our international summaries. Next, I want to introduce you to Harrison Mati, who likes to do business and has tried his hands at virtually everything. But it is his quest to start a restaurant that is working for him. He's now aiming to start a chain. On today's Business Van, we head to 1115, which is becoming the place to hang out. That's at Adrigano here in Accra. Hey, welcome to this episode of the Joy Business Van. It's 11:15, not the time, but where we are at today. And I'm excited about it because it's the first time we are shooting a restaurant. Yes, it is. Come along, let me show you where we are headed.
Hi there, welcome.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is our lounge.
Cool.
We have two other private spaces.
Wow.
There's a VVIP lounge. All my life, I've tried very much to start something on my own, and I believe that in solving problems, we get to make money. So that's where I think I find myself. If there's anything that drives me, there's a hope that you can solve a problem and make some money out of it.
If you're looking for someone who is very entrepreneurial, then it's got to be Harrison Mati.
I've been into bicycle rental. I've been a shoemaker before. I've been a farmer. I've tried fashion a bit. I actually thought of modeling at a point. I know someone, I discouraged myself from doing it, because I couldn't make time for rehearsal. And I've tried a few things. I've tried a few projects here and there in fisheries and then in solar. And I can say I've failed in a few, or in a lot, and I've learned a lot of lessons from them as well.
It was what he learned from his mom's chop bar that would make him interested in starting a restaurant.
And I was the youngest boy, so I was usually the person around, helping with cooking and anything that she needed an assistant with. So I picked up a few of the tricks from her. Then when I went to university, I cooked a lot, so I figured out that, oh, okay, I had picked a lot of the trades from my mom, so I could be a good cook. I tried monetizing that on campus, but it didn't work. Then fast forward, I graduated from school, looking for a job, nothing was coming up, and I said, okay, why not start a food joint and then see what I could do.
A determined Harrison opened his first 1115 restaurant in 2019 at Lakeside, a suburb of Accra. It was a bit of a struggle at the beginning.
It was heartbreaking when we opened a second day and there was no single sale. Yeah, it was just me buying food. So that was I mean, if there was any sale on that day, it was me. And for the first 6 months, we had to pay salaries from out of pocket. I mean, we were not making enough to pay people, but we still had to run. And I also hadn't understood the business the way I do now.
With time, Harrison got a grasp of it and was able to make enough to open another branch of 1115 at Adwigano. Consistency in the kitchen is very important for Harrison. Once in a while, he steps in there.
This is our signature dish. This is called a jungle rice. It's called jungle rice because it's more like you are in a jungle. Whatever protein source you have access to, you add it to your meal. So there's pork, there's snail, there's mushroom, there's sausage, there's goat, there's chicken. Whatever protein is available, there's beef. Whatever protein you have available, you add to this. Our side is we do local dishes from Banku, Fufu, Omutio, Ampesi. We have local dishes on our menu. Continental, we have the fried rice, all the rice dishes that you can think of. But I'll recommend that anytime you come in, you try our pork and our jollof.
Aside from the food, 1115 provides space for families and friends to hang out and wind down or hold exclusive celebratory events with fun games and activities like painting and some good music. Harrison shows me 1115's exclusive lounges. Up is here.
So this is our lounge. This is where you get your loud music if you love loud music. And then here we do a lot of bottle sales, and there's a lot of fun in here compared to what you have outside. So outside is calmer, but here you usually will be in a party mood if you come in here.
Yeah, so I guess usually during the weekends this place is
that's
very busy.
Yeah, that's what we are hoping for.
And then
there's a VIP lounge. There's actually a VVIP lounge.
Okay.
So this is for like VVIP. Yeah,
very bright.
Yes, all white.
The COVID-19 pandemic has been the greatest test for the business.
There were positive sides and then a few negative sides. So for Lakeside, for example, when COVID hit, we moved from sit-ins to deliveries. So currently we do 70% delivery at Lakeside. That also takes a lot of, eases the pressure on the branch. And then I would also say that was also because of COVID that we were able to get this particular space, because as at the time we were packing out for the branch, we had to shut down after a week. We didn't even have all the money to pay when we walked in. And I'm sure that if it wasn't for COVID, with the kind of people who are here, it would have been easy for someone to just pay up that money once and then take it. So there's been that good side.
Harrison has got great hopes for the future.
There are potentials in Kumasi. I won't be surprised if I find myself in Kumasi in the next 2 years. We'll probably do a few more branches in Accra. We also have a model we want to run for university campuses that's also in the pipeline. We had plans of doing on-street sales, which we haven't started yet. That's also something that we are looking at. Even with COVID, we can still do. And for the business as a whole, we are hoping to expand to East Africa.
And if you're wondering what 1115 signifies, well, it's a question you could ask Harrison when by chance you meet him up at the restaurant. and doing well for himself. That's Business Live tonight. Thanks for watching. My name is Darryl Kwao. We're back same time tomorrow.